Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the W.C. Hambley Athletic Complex on the campus of Pikeville High School. I'm Rick Bentley along with Dr. Don tonight for one game of our triple header tonight right here on WPRG. It's a triple header weekend, a lot of football action coming your way, and we'll have it all for you right here on this TV station. Please stay tuned. It's parent night here at Pikeville High School as they're introducing several of the parents right now to this crowd here in attendance. Big game tonight. The Panthers are playing the Raiders of South Floyd. Now, normally maybe that wouldn't be such a big game, but you got to remember it was 1 year ago that South Floyd pulled off its first win ever against the Pikeville Panthers. Pikeville will be seeking out a little bit of revenge tonight. They'll also be doing it without their star running back Jonathan Chapman, who signed a scholarship to play at the University of Kentucky next year. He tore ligaments in his ankle and will miss the rest of the season in all probability. We're going to talk to Jonathan before this game is over. We hope he'll be joining us up here on top of the press box here at Pikeville High School. They're getting ready to play the anthem and have our pregame prayer, so we're going to take a break right now and be back with the opening kickoff. The high school football right here on WPRG. It's Pikeville and South Floyd. We're back here at Pikeville High School. You just enjoyed the band playing the national anthem here, and we're ready to go. You've already had the coin toss. It was won by Pikeville. They will receive, or it will receive, I should say. The Panthers will have the football. We'll tell you the officials tonight are Roy Boger. He's the referee. The white hat tonight, Mark Boger, is the umpire. The linesman is Jason Gillespie. The line judge is Jonathan Boger, and the back judge is Christian Caudle. We're about ready to go for football action. Pikeville with maroon trimmed in white. South Floyd, a little bit of a different look tonight. They have the black pants, the white shirts with black numerals, and the gray helmets, but the black numerals are trimmed in green. I've never noticed that in the South Floyd colors. The kickoff goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. And Panthers will take over there. Of course, Pikeville is quarterbacked by Ben Howard. You'll see him wearing number 8, 6 foot, 195 pounds, senior. Pikeville gets the ball on the 35-yard line because the ball is kicked out of bounds. You have the choice of the 35 or a re-kick after a penalty. They decline the penalty, and we'll take over. Howard's going to start out in the shotgun with double receivers to either side. There's the snap. He rolls out to the right side looking for a receiver. He throws for Jeremiah Akers. Caught at the 45. He's at the other 45 and out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So Jeremiah Akers with the big reception.
Pick up at 24 yards.
Moving it down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 24 on the pass from Ben Howard.
First and 10, Pikeville from the 41-yard line.
Of course, Akers, a 5'11", 160-pound junior. Seen him on the basketball floor. He's a heck of a shooter. Handoff this time. And a big hole to run through across the 40 to the 35, where he'll be brought down and get the ball extended to about the 34. Chad Childers, 5'10", 175-pound senior. Getting it down. They'll mark him just outside the 35-yard line. Give him a gain of 6 yards on the carry. And it'll be 2nd down and 4. Again, Howard in the shotgun. Man in motion is number 30, Barrett Rogers. That gives them trips to the right. Fake the handoff. We have a pass for Akers, caught at the 40. He puts a move on the defender, gets down to the 30-yard line and inside down near the 25 before he's brought down. It'll be a Pikeville first down. Second pass completed to Akers. They mark it just inside the 26. We'll call it to 25. Give them a gain of 10 yards on the pass. And that'll be first and 10 at the 25. Second first down of the first minute for the Panthers. 11:01. We're now down inside the 11-minute mark. For the first time tonight, under center is Howard, and the handoff goes to Childers. He was the lead back in the I formation.
Pick up a 5.
We'll give him,
Knocked down by Matt Tackett.
give him about 4 yards on the carry, make it 2nd and 6. Watching this game on Saturday afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the automobile racing beforehand. We want to remind you that Belfry and Johnson Central will follow us immediately, and Pike Central will play South Floyd. Those games are coming up right after this one. 2 receivers to the left. We got a handoff to Childers again.
Short game.
They'll mark him down.
Pike Central, Shelby Valley.
For I say South Floyd. Pike Central will play Shelby Valley. I'm sorry.
Tackle by Jody Hall.
I'm sorry about that. Give him a gain of a yard.
3rd and 4, Pikeville.
So once again, as Pikeville faces third down and a short 5 yards, and we have a flag. We'll get that. We'll go against the Panthers. Want to remind you that after this game, it'll be Pikeville and Belfry and Johnson Central, and Pike Central will play Shelby Valley. Illegal substitution is a 5-yard penalty. And it'll be third down and 9.5. We'll call it 3rd and 10 from the 25-yard line. 9:33 to play here in the first quarter. And Pikeville's going to call timeout. We'll keep it right here as we have our first timeout of this football game. We'll just hold on to it here. And Don running the camera, but Don, why don't you step down here and tell it to me for just a second, because I got some news for you. A group you've always asked me about, so we talk a little bit of music here during the break, is the Goose Creek Symphony. And yesterday afternoon, I purchased my very first Goose Creek CD. I bought the one called Acoustic Goose, acoustic music live, recorded up at the Apple Shop in Whitesburg, and I'm impressed. That's pretty good music.
Oh, I love the Goose Creek Symphony. Charlie Gear artist from right there in Floyd County. And by the way, over there around Allen Central High School, when you're driving by Allen Central on Highway 80, there's a highway sign there that says Charlie Gearhart Highway. That's Charlie Gearhart's home place. And if you bought the Acoustic Goose, that's a terrific CD. I suggest you get the double electronic CD recorded on Lookout Mountain down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and you will hear some jams.
That's I think that's a limited edition.
That's right.
Recording. And from what I was told yesterday by Mike Lush down at Betsy Lane Pharmacy, that I don't think that's available anymore. He said he thought it was all sold out.
Did he have it down there?
He did not. No, he did not.
He sold out of it?
Yes, he has.
Rick, I don't know where you can get it now. You're not getting my copy.
We're 3rd and 10. We're rolling out to the left here. Howard looking down, looking long. He's got a receiver, Chase Gibson, and it went right through his fingertips. Right through his fingertips. And it'll be 4th down.
Touchdown reception.
First incompletion for Howard, and that went right through the fingers of Chase Gibson. And but it has rained here earlier today, so you can expect that to happen.
Ruled an incomplete pass.
And it'll be 4th down. And it looks like the Panthers go for it from the South Floyd 25-yard line. Somewhat of a small crowd here tonight. We'll give you a couple of reasons that may be here before we get too far into this game. Howard rolls out to the right on 4th down, looks for Akers, floats it right in his arms, and Akers is in for the touchdown. The 3rd pass completion of the game to Jeremiah Akers from Ben Howard puts the first points of the game on the board at the 9:13 mark. Pikeville will line up to kick. It's going to be, looks like Kyle Bowe will be the kicker. 3 for 4 for 59 yards on that drive for Ben Howard. So Panthers looking good on the first drive. There's the snap. Bowe with the kick. It floats through the uprights and good. So at the 9:13 mark of the first quarter, Pikeville takes the lead 7-0 over the South Floyd Raiders. And we'll take a break and be back after this. High school football on WPRG TV 5. All right, Jordan Charles with the short kick. It's taken, well, it's fumbled at about the 37, 38 yard line. We'll see who comes away with it. Pikeville got it. The Panthers recovered. Number 17, Aaron Collins, 5'10", 165-pound senior in there recovering it. And Pikeville will have the ball at the 37-yard line. Howard again in the shotgun. 2 receivers to each side. Looking left. He's caught in the backfield and brought down. That'll be a sack. We'll credit it to number 76, Clayton Williams. Nice job on the sack. Big loss. That'll go back 8 yards.
From the South Floyd 45.
First time they've gotten to the quarterback tonight. And it'll make it 2nd and 18 from the 45 as Howard talks things over with his team. There's a snap. Rolling to the right side. He'll look for Akers. He's going to tuck it and carry it, and he's down at about the 42-yard line. Howard didn't have an opening and had to tuck it in. So it'll be about 3rd and about 15. Ball marked just inside the 42-yard line, which will make it to 41. Akers coming out on this 3rd down situation. 2 receivers again to each side. Howard looking left, floats backward, and this pass to Gibson is again dropped, and Gibson takes a pop after he dropped that ball. Nothing illegal about that shot. A nice lick by James Walker, and we have a flag coming down here. Let's see what that's all about. They may say he hit him with the top of his helmet. That's what's going to be. That's going to be the call. He hit him in the helmet. That's illegal. Hit him with. And Gibson, of course, an outstanding basketball player, is down, and they're going to go out and check him out. Dr. Larry Coleman out there.
First for foul, South Floyd. Illegal use of the headgear, 15-yard penalty.
Of course, Gene Davis sitting in tonight on the PA downstairs, and he tells us that the official calls personal foul illegal use of headgear. Hit him with the top of the helmet. That's going to be a first down. And the ball goes inside the 26. Wait, I'm sorry. It's going to be actually on the 27-yard line. Penalty came after the pass, so I think that pass will go as an incompletion. Howard ready for the snap. Fakes the handoff, tucks it himself. He gets to the 25, eludes a runner down to the 20-yard line before he's brought down.
Howard on the carry.
Going to be a gain of about 7.
Ball placed on the 21-yard line, a gain of 6 yards.
Well, they'll mark it on the 21-yard line, so it'll be a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Pikeville on top 7-0. South Floyd still not had its offensive unit on the field. Pikeville took the kick, went downfield 65 yards and scored, recovered a fumble on the kickoff. Pikeville lined up in the I formation here on its second drive. And the first time we've seen Akers in the backfield, and he takes the pitch, has a blocker in front of him, picks up the first down, gets down near the 10-yard line. We have a flag come in. They'll mark him down at about the 11-yard line, I think, is where he's going to be marked down. Let's see what the flag is. Roy Boger tells us it's going to be a clip against the Panthers. So we give Akers the 10 yards on the carry. Of course, Akers was a solid tailback last year in this system, and getting his first carry tonight. He's been moved to a wideout position. And they'll move the ball back to the 26-yard line.
The ball is placed down on the 27-yard line. It'll be second down and 8.
Second and about 9. 2 men wide to the left side of the field. Howard rolling this way, looking long. Has a receiver in the corner. Did he pull it in? No, incomplete. It was intended for Matt Branham, 6 foot, 165-pound sophomore.
Pass is ruled out of bounds.
And
Branham was out of bounds.
It'll be third down and 9. .6:27 to play here in the first period of play. Third and 9. Howard now will move up under center. Childers in behind him as the tailback to fake the handoff. Howard keeps it himself, but that one was sniffed out pretty well by number 74, Jody Hall. So it'll be fourth down for Pikeville.
Pick up at about 2, be fourth down.
Gain of 2.
Ball is on the 24-yard line, South Floyd.
And it'll be fourth and about 7 as Howard gets the play from Coach John Chapman. Wide out to the wide side of the field is Akers with Chase Gibson in tight on that right side. They throw it to Akers, who pulls it in and will scoot in for the touchdown. There were 2 defenders back there with him, and he just got around them, got through them there, and straight for the post of the goal post, and a 24-yard touchdown pass. Second touchdown pass of the game from Howard to Akers. So 5:39 on the clock. Pikeville leads 13-0. Bow on to attempt the extra point, and this one is good. So Pikeville goes on top 14-0 with 5:39 to play here in the first quarter of play. We'll take a break and step out and be back with you after this. It's the game of the week on WPRG TV5.
The junior high cheerleaders are selling the remaining Panther athletic prints at a reduced cost of $5.
Okay, Rick, you're on.
All right, the Panthers on top 14-0, 5:39 to play here in the first quarter, and South Floyd once again will try to get its offensive unit out on the field. Ball squibs down to about the 15-yard line and returned up to about the 33-yard line by B.J. Bryant, a sophomore for South Floyd, and the Raiders offense will take to the field for the first time tonight.
Bryant on a return. 14-yard return. Ball be placed down on the South Floyd 34-yard line, first and 10.
South Floyd on its own 34-yard line. Where it'll be first and 10. Wind's starting to blow up a little bit here. Feels a little bit like rain. We need rain in this area. in somewhat of a drought. Didn't have to come in the middle of a football game, but we needed it. Handoff on 1st and 10. Once again, that was Bryant.
Williams, the quarterback, handed off to Bryant. Pick up a 2. 2nd down and 8 on the 36-yard line.
Gain of 2 for Bryant. Quarterback is Charlie Williams. He's a junior. And we have motion on the line there. Let's see what. Looks like it's going to go against the Panthers.
Flag on the play. Flag will go in the wrong way there. Flag will offside to be a 5-yard penalty. Down will remain the same.
So it'll move up to 2nd and 3 now. From about the 41-yard line. 4:50 to play in the first quarter. 14-0. Matt Tackett lined up in the wing position there. We got a handoff again. That's Bryant, who gets some running room and an outstanding tackle that time. John Cheney was lying on the ground, reached up and grabbed the ankles of Bryant. 14-yard gain to the 45-yard line. Once again, the first game on Saturday afternoon here of a football tripleheader on WPRG TV5. Williams with one back behind him. That's Bryant in motion. We get the handoff up to about the 41-yard line. And that was Newsom carrying the football. Darren Newsom. He's a senior. Give him a gain of 4.
From the Pikeville 41-yard line.
And give it up from a man, Matt Stalker, on the tackle that time. Coached him in baseball during the summer. He got the tackle for the Panthers that time. Handoff again, that's Bryant. Finding his way through the hole, picks up the first down near the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 31 for a gain of 10 yards.
Ball will be placed on the Pikeville 31-yard line, 1st and 10.
It has been a somewhat lengthy first quarter. We're still 3:48 from the end. We've been playing for 25 minutes or so now. First and 10. Man in motion. We have a handoff. Trapped in the backfield, but gets free up to about the 25, where Gibson comes away with the tackle. Tackett, number 20, Matt Tackett, a sophomore carrying the football that time.
Brought down by Gibson and Mullins.
Gains 5. Of course, the Raiders coming into this game with 1 win on the season. Pikeville 3-1. Two men in the backfield. They have a motion is Newsom. There's a pitch to Bryant. He's around by the 25-yard line. Gibson in there on the nice tackle that time. And they'll mark him down at the 23, gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Have a number correction for Pikeville. Number 42 is Lincoln Sowers.
.213 on a moving clock here in this first quarter play. 14-0. Panthers over the Raiders. Williams, hands off. First man through is Newsom, the fullback. Gets back to about the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be 4th down.
Short gain. Fourth down and 3. Holland first contact there.
Raiders keeping the ball on the ground here. Moving it pretty well. No pass attempts yet. Aided down the field by a penalty for Pikeville and a couple of nice runs by B.J. Bryant. Newsom in motion, the handoff to Bryant, caught in the backfield. He's not going to get there. They'll turn the ball over on downs. Nice job that time. First contact for number 45, Dustin Holland, 5'10", 205 pounds senior.
Stop. Pikeville will take over on downs. First and 10 going the other way on their own 23-yard line.
Pikeville will take it on the 23-yard line. Howard again with 2 men wide on each side. Now we're going to have a change of plans. We'll go to the I formation. Moving Akers. I'm sorry, that wasn't Akers in the backfield. Well, the handoff goes to Childers. Got a lot of running room and pushed out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Bryant on the tackle up to the 47. That's going to be a gain of 24 yards. That was Barrett Rogers, 6 foot, 160 pound, and a freshman. Went back to dot the I. And now Akers is in the backfield for the Panthers. He is behind Childers. A minute to play here in the first quarter. There's the pitch to Akers, looking for running room, and he slips on this wet turf. We have a flag go down in the backfield.
Akers on the carry.
Akers lost a couple.
A loss of 1.
Well, let's see the flag. We're going to have holding against the Pikeville Panthers. And that'll move them back.
Flag on the play.
So, we had a loss of 3 on the carry.
Holding on the play for Pikeville. Down remains the same, first and 20. Check that, first and 22.
First and 23, I'm going to say. From about the 45-yard line. Clock is stopped with 36.9 seconds on it. Wideouts to both sides. Howard looks, hits Akers at the 40, eludes a tackler and gets out of bounds at about the 48-yard line.
Akers on a carry. Pushed out on the 48-yard line by Tackett.
Gain of about 14. So it'll be 2nd and 9 at the 48. .30 seconds to play here in the first quarter. We got a handoff. That's Chad Childers looking for room. Gets across midfield to about the 49 before he's brought down, and that should be the final play of the first period. We'll come back. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Pikeville from the South Floyd 49-yard line. And we'll be back after this. As you see, the score is Pikeville 14, South Floyd nothing. End of the first quarter. And we'll be back after this, the high school game of the week on WPRG TV 5.
In the first quarter, Pikeville leading 14 to nothing. Sandy Valley.
Is that right? Are we on?
Right out.
All right. First play of this second quarter. Howard finds Akers at the 40 for the first down before he's wrestled to the ground.
Pick up a 9, first down, Pikeville.
That combination on its way to a pretty outstanding game here. Six completions for more than 100 yards now. Actually, right on 100 yards. Well, if my math was better, I would have been able to come up with 106 yards, which is exactly what it is. There's a pass again. That's Akers, 36, down to 35, down inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line before he's taken out of bounds. We're going to mark it right on the 27. That'll be a gain of 13.
Check that 27-yard line.
11:21 to play. We'll have clock continues to run here. Two men in the backfield now to block, no doubt, for Howard, who's looking for Akers long toward the corner, off his fingertips and incomplete. Bring everybody back, and it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line. Seven for 9 in the air now for Howard. All of the completions to Akers. And here we go on 2nd down. Howard keeps it himself and gets up to about the 26-yard line. He'll gain a yard. We'll make it 3rd down and 9. 14-0, Pikeville on top, 10:39 to play on a moving clock here in the 2nd quarter of play. Rick Bentley and Dr. Don here from the Hamley Athletic Complex. I formation behind Howard, 2 receivers to the left, and he's going to look for one of them. Akers is open, wide open, catches the ball on about the 10-yard line and gets down to about the 8.
First down, Pikeville.
Gain of about 18 on the catch, and it'll be 1st and goal at the 8.
Always placed down on the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, Pikeville.
Unbelievably, that is 8 completions for Akers already in this first 14 minutes of this game. He comes to the sideline for a breather here, and we're going to score a touchdown on a run, looks like. Barrett Rogers, that freshman, from the 8-yard line, heard Hillard Howard from all the way up here. Assistant coach, kind of the offensive coordinator. I heard him yelling, "Give me a hog," and that means he wanted a big fullback in there to block, and that's what he got. So in 9:55 of this 2nd quarter, Pikeville goes up 20-0 with Bo back on the field to attempt to kick. There's the kick. It is no good. And that'll keep it 20-0. Pikeville leads South Floyd. So we'll step out for a break here with 9:55 to play in the first half. Pikeville 20, South Floyd nothing. It's a game of the week on PRG TV 5. All right, we're back here at the Hamley Athletic Complex. Pikeville kicking off. That's Jordan Charles. A short kick will be taken at the 40-yard line and hit and down at the 44-yard line. Pikeville with some good coverage on that kick, as South Floyd will have pretty good field position at about the 44-yard line. And we're joined now up here on top of the press box. Don swings around here by Jonathan Chapman, the star running back of this Pikeville Panther team. Of course, came over from Breathitt County this year when his dad was hired as a football coach, and Jonathan with an injury that we'll talk to him about as play goes along here. But Jonathan, I know that it has to be kind of depressing for you that your football career, as far as high school goes, appears to have come to an end.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because I've never had to actually sit on the sidelines. You know, I've started for 3 years, and it's a big time change for me to have to sit over here and watch.
That pass was complete to Kyle Tackett and moved all the way down to the 5-yard line.
51 yards on the completion.
Gain of 51, and it'll be first and goal from the 5. You say you've never been hurt, and tell us exactly what the injury is, Jonathan, for people who maybe have read and had some speculation. What exactly is the problem?
I've got a torn left ligament in the top of my foot, and I got to have surgery coming up pretty soon. But it could have been worse, and the good thing is that I'm expected to heal 100%. And it's not a career-ending injury; it's just possibly this season, so that's good.
Bryant on the carry that time, and he was hitting the backfield and taken down. Looks like he lost about a yard. It'll be second and goal from the 6-yard line. Now, Jonathan, obviously you'd like to come back if the season extends long enough. I understood they said 10 weeks maybe, but maybe that a little bit on the optimistic side, you think?
Well, I mean, if I get cleared, of course, you know, I'm going to come back. But, you know, I guess everybody understands my situation. And if I get cleared, then I'll be back out. But, you know, it's unlikely right now, but you know, I hope.
The pass was complete again to number 80, Tackett.
Completed to Tackett.
And he gets down to about the 3-yard line. We'll give him a gain of 3. It'll be third down. The goal on the 3-yard line. Jonathan, at Breathitt County, we got an opportunity to see you on WPRG several times last year, and did just an outstanding job of running the football. You got pretty close to the state rushing record for touchdowns in a career. And what a run that time for the touchdown by B.J. Bryan, who dove for the end zone, smelled it out there. That's a little Jonathan Chapman-esque there.
It's a pretty good run. Our defense, we're going to have to start pursuing to the ball a little bit better. But I believe we'll be all right if we just get things together and organize up a little bit here.
So congratulations to Bryan on the run, coming at 8-12 here of this first half play. We'll get the conversion play here and then talk to Jonathan just a little bit more during the extended play. And now we have a flag down. Roy Boger throws a flag. Illegal substitution from South Floyd. And that'll make it. Move it back to the 8-yard line for this attempt here. Jonathan, next week coming up the big game, the big rivalry game here for Pikeville, and it was a team that you're actually familiar with, the Belfry Pirates. You had a pretty good game, if memory serves, about 5 touchdowns against them last year over there, and your guys in the bowl game over at Breathitt County.
Yeah, at Breathitt, we've been playing Belfry now. It's a big rivalry in Belfry Breathitt, but of course it is Pikeville Belfry too, and I believe we'll come out ready and we'll be ready to play.
Conversion pass was complete to number 85, Jared Johnson. So we can tell you that the score is Pikeville 20, South Floyd 6, or 8 here, as we get that down. And now we'll talk a little bit more to Jonathan. And Jonathan, as we said, Belfry coming up next week. I know that was a game you were looking forward to because there's a team you are familiar with and had some success against, but as you say, the big rivalry game here for Pikeville.
Yeah, it's Pikeville Belfry's always, you know, I've heard of the tradition here, and this is my first year here, but it's always been a hard-fought game, and Belfry's going to come out, and they've got a new passing style of offense this year that'll, you know, go along with ours, so that'll be a real exciting game for the fans to watch. But I believe if we come out ready and come out prepared to play, we'll come out on top.
You've sat for a quarter now, and you're going to be sitting quite a bit before the season ends. What's it like up here as opposed to being down there? I can tell you right now, we don't hit as hard.
Like I said, you know, I've never had. This is the first injury I've had where I've had to sit out, and it's a lot different sitting up here watching and helping out on the coaching end of this. You know, reading the defenses and offenses and things. But you know, I do all I can do, and hopefully I can get back. But you know, until they clear me, I'll probably be up here.
Well, there's still plenty of ways you can help the team, I'm sure, and if you see things from up here, you can tell the guys in the backfield who are playing the position that you played and things along those lines.
Yeah, that's what I'm up here for. I mean, you know, I know the players and I know my teammates, and a lot of times that's a lot of inside, you know, help that coaches, you know, that where I'm a little closer to the players than the coaches are. I know who's ready to run the ball and who's ready to catch it and who's ready to play, and that's just something that I can give to them.
Pikeville will begin this drive at its own 33-yard line here. And Jonathan, I want to ask you, before we let you go here, the transition with your dad coming over here to coach, people talk about football and the situation there, but there's a lot more to it than playing football. Obviously, being a 17, 18-year-old guy, having to pack up and leave a lot of friends over in Breathitt County, and that couldn't have been easy for you to do. I mean, forget about your football teammates. There are a lot of people that you were in class with every day over there.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation for me and probably my dad, but people here in Pikeville's been accepting of us, and they've made us feel at home, and I really thank the people of Pikeville for doing that, and all my friends back home in Breathitt, you know, they're still my friends, and life goes on, I guess.
What was it like that during the Pike County Bowl, and maybe some guys that you were real close with were having to tackle you and you were having to elude them? Couldn't have been easy for you.
It was a little bit different, and but you know, football's football, and no matter what level you play, high school or college, and just got to go out and play the game to win, and off the field.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, fun and nice decoration.
Which one did you get?
I got the double.
And where are you going to put it?
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to put it on my porch or right out in the middle of the yard.
Well, you can move it wherever you want it.
You can put it wherever you want it, absolutely. Put it on the sun porch, put it on the back porch, put it in a tree, put it about any place you want to, and it just is relaxing and fun to watch.
Right. And I want to say I really love you, Dan. I really love this show. I've just been QVC fan for a long time.
Well, Brenda, you are a sweetheart. We love you, and it's so nice that you took time to call us tonight. Let's talk again sometime.
All right.
I want to hear how you like this sculpture in person.
Okay.
You take care.
You too.
Bye,
Thanks,
Brenda.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, they are beautiful. You have your choice of the double. Hi to Lena and see what's coming up at midnight. Lena, I think you're wearing it, right?
I sure am, Dan Wheeler, and I'm so thrilled about our today's special value. It is exquisite. If you've been holding out, if you've been waiting for a gold Stampado bracelet, guess what? It's been 3 years since we've had a today's special value with gold Stampado, a gorgeous, absolutely exquisite bracelet. It is available in 3 different lengths and on 3 easy payments. Isn't this amazing? Wow, that is a gorgeous bracelet, and it's coming up for the 6 3/4 inch, 3 easy payments of $96. For the 7 1/4 inch, $102, just 3 easy payments of $102. And then we also have the 8-inch length for 3 easy payments of $112. This is the only Stampado bracelet that you will see as a today's special value for the entire year. First time we've done it in over 3 years, since May of 2001, and wow, it is worth the wait. If you've been
8 or 10 more games before your high school career ended?
Yeah, I'd like to break that record, you know, but I guess it happens in this game, and it's just something you got to go on with.
Any other sports you played at Breathitt County? You're an outstanding football player, so obviously a lot of athleticism there.
I ran some track, but primarily I just trained on my own, lifted weights and run and kept in shape in the off season just for football.
There's a lot of talk, Jonathan, as we get back to this Pikeville-South Floyd game here. Of course, South Floyd kind of pulled the upset last year, had one of their better teams they've had over there, and knocked off Pikeville last year. Was there talk about revenge in the locker rooms in practice this week?
Of course, you know, where South Floyd beat Pikeville last year, the boys, they seemed like they come out fired up, ready to play tonight, and they're doing a pretty good job of that. And they're just going to have to step it up on defense a little bit. And, a little confusion, I guess. Some people were playing in new positions and this and that, but that's just something that'll mesh along in the year, and that doesn't worry me too much.
So we've got a big carry here across the 50, and the ball is loose. It looks like South Floyd's going to come away with it there. at about its own 46-yard line. Jonathan, I know you'd rather be down there talking to your coaches than up here talking to us, so we'll let you go. We appreciate you stopping by and talking to us, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Chapman there, the tailback for Pikeville High School, out for the rest of the season. And with that injury, we'll try to get more organized here and let you know a little bit of what happened there during that drive. South Floyd will have it at its own 45 to start things off here. And the pass is incomplete. First play of that drive for Pikeville was incomplete pass. Howard then ran for about 12 yards before that fumble there on 1st and 10 from the 45. South Floyd with the touchdown, and we certainly don't want to get away from this without saying what an outstanding drive that was. Nice pass from Charlie Williams to Kyle Tackett for the 51-yard gain. You don't see that very often, as we have Newsom catching the pass and falling on this wet turf here. He'll lose about 4 yards. And it'll be 3rd and we'll call it 14 back at the 41-yard line. But an outstanding pass play there. And then 3 plays later, the touchdown run by Bryant, B.J. Bryant, who dove for that end zone, as you saw. And then the pass on the conversion to Jared Johnson was complete from Williams. Williams chased out of the pocket, finds a receiver. It's across midfield, and the ball is on the field, and it looks like South Floyd came away with it. They did. P.J. Hall, the senior, on the reception, and the fumble actually is going to benefit the Raiders. That's going to move them up for a first down up to the 44-yard line. So the play will go for a gain of about 15 yards. And it'll be 1st and 10. We got 6:38 to play here in the first half. Pikeville 20, South Floyd 8. We have a handoff to the fullback, Newsom, moving around the end, and he's hit pretty hard in there. We got a flag coming in. We're going to have face mask against the Panthers. Move to the 39, gain of about 5. And then the face mask will be tacked on. They'll move it down to about the 25-yard line. And that's the case.
Bailey takes it down to the Pikeville 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
So South Floyd doing everything it can to get back in this game. Of course, the Raiders started off 0-2, won 2 weeks ago against Betsy Lane, and then last week had a bye week. So the Raiders did win their last game. There's a handoff to Bryant across the 20, inside down to the 15 before he's brought down by a host of Panther tacklers down to about the 14-yard line, and that's going to be another South Floyd first down.
Pickup of 11 first down Raiders on the 14-yard line of Pikeville.
And seemed like just a nice, soft-spoken young man there, Jonathan Chapman, talking to us there about what happened. I'll tell you who he reminded me of, Don, someone that you've seen many times, that I've seen many times, and that's Jody Thompson, who played up at Feds Creek and went to the University of Kentucky before finishing up at Pikeville College. Just real soft-spoken. You can tell he's got that competitiveness in his eyes, but just a soft-spoken young man who enjoys playing his sport.
Qualities of greatness, Rick.
Exactly.
Qualities of greatness.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Newsom hit for the loss of a yard. And it'll be 2nd down and about 11. 15-yard line where the ball's spotted. 5:33 to play here in this first half of play. Pikeville 20, South Floyd 8, but the Raiders in the red zone down 15-yard line. trips to the right side of the field for Williams. He steps and looks that way, throws toward Bryant, but his pass came up short. And it'll be 3rd down and 11 and the 15. You say Chapman will probably not play any more high school football, but looking forward to an outstanding career at the University of Kentucky with Hal Mummy and crew down there. Said the coaching staff down there talked to him and told him everything was okay. He didn't have anything to worry about as far as what was happening on their end of the bargain. Newsom going in motion. We got a handoff in the backfield. There's a lot of action back there, but Tackett got through and gets down to about the 11-yard line. It'll gain 4, not nearly as much as they need, so it'll be 4th down and about 7 from the 11-yard line. 4:56, the clock continues to move here in this first half of play. And we're going to have a timeout for South Floyd. I want to remind you that if you're watching this on Saturday afternoon, it's the first game of a triple header of high school football action here. The next game you'll see should be an outstanding game that we cover each year on WPRG TV5 here with Belfry and Johnson Central. Of course, Belfry and Pikeville will play next week. Pirates getting ready with a big conference game down there, district matchup against Johnson Central over in Death Valley. First home game of the season for Belfry. That's hard to believe. This late into the season, it's their first time at home. And then it's going to be Pike Central hosting Shelby Valley in that 3rd game. Should be some outstanding football here. That's a big rivalry game there between those two schools here in Pike County.
That Belfry-Pikeville game, we'll do that next week.
We'll be right here for that game, Belfry and Pikeville next week on WPRG TV5. Whether the good doctor and I will be here or not is another story, but somebody will be here.
If Pikeville and Belfry play, you can bet it'll be on Channel 5.
That's a pretty good matchup there.
Always is on
Not too bad. Not too bad. You know, Don, from my experience at the newspaper and the resources I had there, I can tell you that if you add everything up, Pikeville and Belfry, it's even. The wins and losses are about even. The total points they've scored against each other is about even. Well, I'll tell you something interesting after this 4th down play. Williams back to pass, looking for the end zone, has a receiver, caught, touchdown. Touchdown. That pass was complete to Kyle Tackett, a junior. Number 80, Tackett, on the touchdown for 11 yards on this 4th down play. And South Floyd has made a game of this one. It's 20-14. Raiders going for the conversion here. Handoff goes to Bryant, looking for running room. He's caught and down in the backfield. So the run will fail. Well, with 4:43 to play, the Raiders have got back within a touchdown here. Pikeville 20, South Floyd 14, and we'll be back after this with the kickoff to resume this game, high school football game of the week on WPRG TV5.
Okay, Rick, you're on.
All right, we're back here. 4:43 to play here in the first half. South Floyd just scored on a touchdown pass. Went from Williams to Tackett. The conversion run failed, but it's 20-14 now. Pikeville scored the first 20 points of this game, and South Floyd come back with the last 2 scores. Freshman Barrett Rogers taking the kick and brings it up to the 35-yard line, and that's where Pikeville will start the drive here with 4:37 to play in the first half.
35-yard line, 1st and 10.
Want to complete the thought I started before that touchdown pass there. The Pikeville-Belfry game coming up next week. And this is something that when I was at the paper I had, Don, and could tell you exactly. The wins and losses in the rivalry is close. The total points they scored against each other, the total for the series is close. But if you take and calculate the margin of victory, it's typically not a close game. That's a surprise, but and it is from time to time, but as a rule, it's not a close game in that Pikeville-Belfry matchup. Howard had to pull it down and run up to about the 42-yard line to be a gain of 7.
The one consistent factor when Belfry and Pikeville play is that Belfry always has Coach Philip Haywood. He's been there. He's an institution at Belfry, Coach Philip Haywood. Pikeville's had various coaches over the year between this rivalry, but it's always been Coach Haywood there for the Belfry Pirates.
In his 15th season at Belfry, came there in 1984 and led that team to the state championship game. Howard, second and a long 3, throws an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down. But you'd be surprised, though, if you had that and could look at it, that if you add up the points each team has scored in that rivalry, it's a close one. But when you figure the margin of victory, the average score in that series is not a close game.
Never.
But you know, from time to time they have outstanding close games, but typically one side or another will get the advantage, and it's not always the team that's playing well. Of course, Belfry coming in this year has been struggling a little bit. I think 1 win on the season after having last week off. They're 1-2. Pikeville 3-1, but it's not always that team. Akers gets the pitch, got some blockers and some running room. He's across midfield and out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. Gain of 12 on the carry for Akers, who's having an outstanding football game here. 2 touchdown receptions already.
Does the home field advantage matter in those games between Pikeville and Belfry, Rick? Have you figured that out?
Very little. The home field advantage does not play a big factor in that. But it's an advantage that Pikeville will have next week, as we have Gibson going down the sidelines, hauls it in at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. An outstanding pass that time by Ben Howard to Chase Gibson. Gibson hauled it in and headed for the end zone. Gibson only a sophomore. The first completion of the game for Howard that did not go to Jeremiah Akers comes at the 3:38 mark. And after South Floyd scored 2 touchdowns, it took Pikeville 4 plays to get in the end zone.
You pretty well predicted that too, didn't you, Rick?
I thought they might get one up pretty quick here. And they did. An outstanding pass, 46 yards. And Howard tucks and runs himself, and they're going to say he's down, and it'll go as an incomplete run, so the conversion will fail. But Pikeville will hold on to the lead, 26-14, 3:38 to play in the first half. And we'll be back after this break as you're watching the high school football game of the week on WPRG TV 5. And with 3:38 to play in the first half, Pikeville has stretched its lead, I should say, 26-14 on the touchdown pass, 46 yards from Howard to Gibson. The kick is hit one of the up men, number 24, Josh Ward. I'm not going to say he caught it as much as it caught him at the 45-yard line. We'll call it to 44. I'll go with Gene on that one. Gene Davis doing the PA here tonight. It's turned out to be a nice night for high school football here. Not extremely hot. Pretty nice breeze blowing. As long as we can keep the rain away, we'll be in good shape. Fullback Newsom gets across midfield to about the 49-yard line. And that'll give him about 7 yards. Actually, it'll be 6.
Jordan Charles in on the tackle. Pick up a 7, third or second and 3. Long 3.
It actually is closer to 4 yards, but if you go by the yard markers, it is 2nd and 3. Again, it's Newsom across the 45 to about the 43-yard line. It'll be a first down. Gain of 6. And with 2:51 to play, they've stopped the clock long enough to move the chain gang over there across the way. And now they'll restart the clock. 26-14 is the score. Handoff, and Bryan is hit in the backfield. Give him credit for getting up across the line of scrimmage for a gain of about a yard. And we'll call it 2nd and 9 from the 42-yard line. .2:15 to play here. Clock continues to run at the W.C. Hamley Athletic Complex. Back to pass. Has a receiver. That's Tackett. And he caught it. Williams gained 23. Kyle Tackett, the junior, having himself a pretty good half here. Hauled it in at about the 19-yard line, and we're going to have a timeout called by the Panthers with 1:59 to play here, and we'll just keep it right here. I want to remind you again, if it's Saturday afternoon you're watching this football game, it's a triple header here on Channel 5. Belfry and Johnson Central will be the middle game. And in the nightcap, it's going to be Pike County Central and Shelby Valley. Game over, they're playing not too far from here over at Pike Central, just a couple miles away.
Yeah, that's right, over there at that school that consolidates the old Mullins and the Johns Creek schools. Rick, are you going to check out Leonard Skinner down at Rub Arena? Do you know about that yet?
I'm pretty excited about that. Leonard Skinner, Peter Frampton, and Tommy Shaw, formerly of Styx.
Well, I knew about the Peter Frampton. I saw this concert about 2 months ago down at Freedom Hall in Johnson City, Tennessee. And let me tell you, Ricky Medlock, who used to be with Blackfoot, has put the spark back into Leonard Skinner. I mean, the free bird is flying again. And Peter Frampton warmed up for him down there. They're also going to be having Peter Frampton as their warm-up down in Lexington. And, hey, Peter Frampton rocks. This guy, he's a little bit older, but, hey, do you feel like we do? When he says, hey, we're going to play you a long song, the crowd goes wild. Peter Frampton, he's good, yeah. You'll like that, Rick.
That'll be a good one.
I know I'll be there.
Rupp Arena, I think it's the last Sunday in October.
October 25th on the weekend. It's a Sunday, October the 25th. That's right. Yeah.
Should be a good one. Getting close to Halloween.
We'll be there.
And it'll be Skinner and Peter Frampton. Hey, we got a flag here. We'll see what they've got here. Got someone lined up on the wrong side of the ball. And it's Pikeville.
Flag on the play, Pikeville moving offside.
So it'll be 1st and 5 from about the 14-yard line. It's pretty close to the 15.
Always placed down now.
Tell me, Rick, you already got your tickets for that?
Haven't got my tickets yet.
Got mine today.
Did you really?
Yeah. Lower Arena.
Lower Arena seats for Skinner. I know you've probably seen them more than I have. I've seen them twice, and they are just unbelievable. 9 times. Sounds good. Handoff. That's going to be Tackett. Got running room. Picks up the first down. He's near it anyway, down about the 10-yard line. We'll see. Going to be a little short.
2nd down and 1.
2nd and 1. So he's short of the first down. 2nd down. Minute 27 to play here. South Floyd trying to get on the scoreboard before the half, but that won't help things. Bryant met in the backfield and just swarmed right there. Bartley and Shoemate on the tackle. It'll only go down as a loss of 1, and it'll be 3rd down and 2. Halftime is approaching with 1:09 to play. South Floyd has called a timeout here, and we will probably spend halftime listening to the band here at Pikeville High School. They are always entertaining. Enjoyed last week's show down at Prestonsburg. We were down there and covering that football game. Their big win last week over Whitesburg. And we're only a minute and 9 seconds away from that show. Should be a good one. Want to remind you again, next week, WPRG TV 5 will be right here at the Hambly Athletic Complex. The Panthers and the Pirates, I think, could be wrong. There'll be a few more people here next week than there is tonight. You got to consider that there's rain in the area, rain for a good while this afternoon, this evening. That probably kept a few people home. Also, there's a wrestling show just across town at the college gym.
Now that's wrestling, Rick. There's wrestling matches across
well,
town.
You're right. You're right.
People eat that wrestling up. They love it.
That's going on across town. And then, of course, we got Pike Central playing a mile or two away here also. And third down, we got a handoff. That's going to be a first down inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line.
Pick up the first down.
Newsom on the carry. Down to about the 4-yard line. We'll give him 7.
First and goal.
And well, I'm going to be honest about something here. For all the success they've had here, the handoff going up the middle for a gain of a couple.
Newsom again on the carry.
Again, it was Newsom. It's not uncommon to have small crowds for regular season games here at Pikeville for all the success they've had the last 10 or 12 years here.
Ball is placed down on the 1-yard.
Ball is on the 1-yard line. Second and goal at the 1. Handoff. Again, it's Newsom. Touchdown. 33.3 seconds to play. The first drop of rain of this football game just hit me just as we got Newsom in for the touchdown.
We'll keep it to the end.
Okay. So South Floyd will go for 2 here. And these are big old raindrops coming down here now, Don. I got a feeling we might be alone on top of this press box before long. There's a pass for the conversion. It's batted down, incomplete. So Pikeville holds on to the 6-point lead here.
Extra point, no good.
And sometimes, boys, you get wet. That's all I know. That's all you can say.
The umbrellas come out.
The umbrellas are popping up. The raincoats coming out. And people, look at this, Don, as people are heading out to get under the shed down here, under the cover. Can you get that shot on TV? Look, all these people filing out of here. It looks like Mark McGuire just batted in the 9th inning and struck out, and people are filing out of here.
Tuesday, September the 22nd, the girls' junior high basketball team will be at home versus Phelps. And on Thursday, September the 24th, the junior
26 to 20, it's
will play Virginia.
the score with 33.3 seconds to play. Hard to complain about rain on as much as dry as it's been in eastern Kentucky in the last month or so. I've often wondered what kind of view you have watching a football game from the bank building over there. I'd like to be in the bank building right now, I'll tell you that much, instead of being out here getting wet, but that's part of it. That's why Mr. Gerhardt pays us the big bucks right there to be out here.
The big bucks. 33 seconds and we'll get in the drive.
33 seconds and we will head downstairs. Here comes the kickoff. Taken at about the 27-yard line. A lot of running room for Childers, who's finally chased out of bounds at the 45 of South Floyd. So with 24.3 seconds to go, we'll see if Pikeville chooses to try to cover some ground here or just take a knee and get in out of this rain. 26 to 20 is the score. 45-yard line. Howard's lined up in the shotgun, so we're going to play here with 24 seconds to play. He drops back to pass, steps out to the left. Now he's hitting the backfield. Comes free. He's going to run it now. He's at the 42-yard line. Gets to the 40 before he's brought down. Gain of 5. with 10 seconds to play, and that Pikeville's going to call timeout here with 10.4 seconds to play. Howard picks up 5 on the run. Can I say this? Buy your jewelry at Hefner's. Thanks, David. I appreciate this. Got a little coverage up here. Don's going to have a hard time squeezing in here to move this camera around, but
Okay, appreciate it.
here we go. Well, we got lightning striking behind us, fellas. The officials see that, and I think one of them just did, coming in from the side over there to let them know. And
The band played on.
yep. I think the band will wisely choose not to march tonight. 10.4 seconds to play here. In the first half of play, 26-20. Pikeville on top of South Floyd. Pikeville jumped out to a 20-0 lead, but South Floyd has played pretty well here in this second quarter and has got back within 6 points. Again, the shotgun rolling out to the left is Howard. He's being chased in the backfield. He's down at about the 48-yard line, and that's the way the first half will come to an end. Pikeville 26, South Floyd 20. We'll be back with some halftime stats in the second half of play. High school football game of the week on WPRG TV5.
On the return for South Floyd.
All right, we're back here. We begin the second half. Matt Tackett on the kickoff return, and South Floyd will have the ball on its own 37-yard line to start this second half. You're going to have a little bit different look, a little bit different sound here for this second half. We've moved from the top of the press box downstairs here, and I'm actually doing a little Harry Carey here, sitting in the bleachers doing this football game. Harry used to do games from Wrigley Field's bleachers out there in the outfield from time to time, and that's where we're at right now for this second half. Hopefully stay a little bit dry. In motion is Bryant on his first play for this drive, and didn't pick up a lot there. Newsom will gain a couple. Second and 8 from the 39-yard line. Understand that many of the games tonight are involved in lightning delays, causing delays in the football action. Bryant moving around the left side, hitting the backfield, spun around by Akers, and now they get him down at about the 35-yard line, although looks like they'll mark it.
First contact by Jeremiah Akers.
They'll mark it down right on the 35, so it'll be a loss of 4. It'll be 3rd and 12 for the Raiders. Understand that both of our other games on WPRG TV5 are involved in lightning delays. Fortunately, we haven't had that problem yet. Shotgun for Williams, flips it over the middle, and it is complete to Tackett. I'm sorry, it was complete. We'll pick up the receiver.
Screen pass from Williams to Kyle Tackett.
Kyle Tackett on the reception. Brady.
4th down and 2.
Gain about 10 yards. It's going to be 4th down and 2. Ball on the 45-yard line.
Ball placed down on the 45-yard line of the Raiders.
.25 on the clock here. Pikeville leads 26-20. South Floyd approaching midfield. And we have a man jump off sides for Pikeville. That was 45, Dustin Holland. Jumps across, and that's going to be a first down as Pikeville's caught for offsides. Going to move it up to midfield right on the 50-yard line. 10:25 to play here in the third quarter. Pikeville holding on to a 6-point lead. We're going to have a delay here as Ben Howard comes off the field. Kyle Bowe will jump in to replace him. Looking at Howard's right arm there. Hopefully nothing too bad. So we're ready to play here. To be 1st and 10 from midfield for the Raiders. Dropping back to pass is Williams, and it's incomplete. He was chased and he hit in the backfield, and we're going to have a flag now. And looks like that may be roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer called on Pikeville.
That'll be 15 yards, and it'll move him down to the 35. So a couple of penalties taken over now. Helps South Floyd move the ball down the field.
And 10 from the Pikeville 35-yard line.
10:21 to play here in the third quarter of action. Pikeville with a 6-point lead.
Come on, Panthers!
Williams brings his team up. They have a handoff. That's Bryant. Hit immediately and drops at the 35.
Charles on the tackle.
And we're at the 10-minute mark of this
Stop for no gain. 2nd down 10.
third quarter. Second and 10. Trips to the right now for Williams. Steps, flips. That's completed to Bryant, who gets down near the first down marker, about to the 26-yard line before he's brought down.
Pick up at 9. A ball being placed down on the 26-yard line. 2nd down. Check that. Pick up at 8.
Gains 8 on the reception. Second down, or 3rd down and 2, I should say. 9:08 to play, third quarter. Williams under center. Then we got to get him through there is Newsom. Moving down the field to about the 10-yard line.
Knocked down in there by Collins. Also Gibson. 1st and goal from the 9.
It's a little bit different look here from this spot in this stadium, and harder to pick up the yard markers. We aren't up nearly as high as we were. And the raindrops begin to fall again. Bryant
on a carry.
Gets down near the 5.
Down close to the 5.
We'll give him 3 and call it 2nd and goal at the 6.
Just short of the 5-yard line. 2nd down go.
And 7:57 on the clock. South Floyd opening drive of this second half.
Newsom on a carry. Met with the middle of the Pikeville line.
Newsom
Jordan Charles on the bottom.
picked up about a yard. It'll be 3rd and goal at about the 5-yard line. And we're going to have an officials timeout here. Equipment break.
Official time.
So it'll be 3rd and goal, just inside the 5-yard line. For the Raiders of South Florida.
Go defense! Let's go! Careful.
Takes the handoff first man. That's going to be Bryant. Looking for running room. Stood up and nailed by Ben Howard.
Rick, you can sit right in there and call if you want to. You can sit in there if you put
That's
long enough.
It is. You're fine. Stay still. You're fine. We're going to have a timeout for South Floyd here as they face a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line as the rain picks up again. 6:57 to play here in this third quarter. Pikeville leading 26-20, but South Floyd trying to even the score here. Coach Bill Allaire has been moving around as much as we have. Still haven't found a dry place, have you, Coach?
Sit down in that water.
Yep, done that myself. One thing that concerned me, Don, when we got here is that they've got Heath Tarando running the clock down there. He knows a little bit about basketball, but I'm not sure football's his forte. Heath, Pikeville College graduate. Remember the 1,000-point club at the college?
There's something they don't see, the inside of the press box.
That's right. You see the wheels in motion here. And if it wasn't for Ernie Johnson in there, I'm not sure anybody know what was going on.
Let's go, defense!
Let's see. As the coaches start to head off the field. 4th down and 1.
Let's go, defense!
4th and goal. Williams,
Let's go!
1 man behind him. 2 men split wide to both sides. A man in motion. Tackett. Handoff is going to Newsome, and he's in for the touchdown. So with 6:54 to play here, South Floyd used 5 minutes and 6 seconds of this second half to tie the score at 26. Drive assisted by a couple of Pikeville penalties. Nice runs as well, and a 10-yard pass play. Raiders will go for 2. With the handoff, we got flags down. They'll stop the play here, and may have been too many people moving around in the backfield, if I was guessing. And that's going to be the call. Going to move them back to about the 8-yard line. Make it a little more difficult. Scoreboard tied at 26 here. Not sure a lot of people thought that would be the case. Two backs to move before the snap. Both of the backs move.
Go, defense! Let's go!
No, it's on the conversion. Move it back to me. And there's a pass for the conversion. It's going to be incomplete. So 6:54 to play. We're tied up at 26 here. Pikeville and South Floyd. 6:54 to play in the third quarter, I should say. And we'll step out for a break. Be back after this. It's the high school game of the week on WPRG TV 5. Yeah.
Okay, you're on.
All right, 6:54 to play in the third quarter. Rain has started falling pretty good now. And South Floyd kicks off for Pikeville. Rogers takes it at about the 22, moves up to the 30 before he spun down. And that's where Pikeville will start its first drive of the second half. So the offensive unit will come back on the field, and Ben Howard is in the middle of a very good football game for himself. 9 of 15 for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns. 8 of those completions have been to Akers for 137 yards. Gibson, the end around, gets up to the 40. Before he's brought down, we've got a flag downfield. So Gibson will pick up 9 on the carry, and the flag will be a clip. Actually, it's going to be holding against Pikeville. It went, so that'll negate the carry and move it back. Move it back to near the original line of scrimmage. So penalties have hurt the Panthers a little bit here. So Gibson does get credit for the yardage on the carry, and then the penalty is marked off, and it just happens to be about the same length. 6:32 to play. Tie football game here, and this a good rain coming down. Now I'm not sure how well you can see it, but boy, it is coming down pretty good right now. I want you to know. It is coming down. Howard back to pass, flips it out, has his receiver. That's Childers, who gets up near the 40-yard line. Childers having success running the football. That's his first carry, or first catch, I should say, of this football game. And he's going to limp off the field. It's going to be second and about 1. Good news is, while they're conversing out here, the clock's still running. Which probably shouldn't be the case, but it is, and we're not going to complain about that. 2 men wide out to this side of the field. That's Rogers and Akers. And here we go. High formation behind Howard. And we got movement on the Pikeville line. And that'll cost them 5 more yards. So that'll make it 2nd and 6 from about the 34-yard line. Pikeville kind of shooting itself in the foot a little bit here in the second half with the penalties coming in. South Floyd, boy, if you're Don Daniels, you have to feel really good about where you're at right now in this football game. Trailing 20-0. And now all of a sudden, you're sitting in a tie in the middle of the third quarter, 26 apiece. Shotgun for Howard. Looks to the right. So completes to Akers again, who gets up to about the 45 where he's out of bounds. And that's going to be a first down. Gain of 10 on the pass. And Howard and Akers hooking up, having themselves a very good football game here tonight. 9 receptions now for Jeremiah Akers. Again, wideout split to each side. Howard is rolling to the left, and he's looking for Akers again at the 45. He caught it, cuts back the 40, and he'll be down to about the 35 before he steps out of bounds, and that's some fancy footwork there by Jeremiah Akers. $22 yards on the game. And it's 1st and 10 with 4:37 to play. The clock continues to run.
You said we're going to rain here, Coach.
Having some fun here on a wet Friday night. Howard tucks it, looking for running room, and he's going to get back near the original line of scrimmage, and that's going to be about it. That keeper has not been successful tonight. But that's about all Howard's done wrong. He has looked good throwing the football. And keep running the quarterback over to the sidelines, trying to keep his hands dry. 3:54.
You just said that.
Well, good. Just with the rain and moving around and things like that, we don't have the monitor that we normally have to watch what's going on here. Again, Howard, there's Akers to the 25-yard line before he's brought down. Another 9 yards. You know, I don't profess to know a great deal about football, but if I was South Floyd, I might put somebody on Jeremiah Akers. 3rd down and 1. He's picking up some yardage here on this wet Friday night. Whatever happened to not being able to throw the football in the rain, that's not the problem for Ben Howard. Back to pass on 3rd and 1. Looking for a receiver. He's going for Gibson, who catches it near the end. Touchdown! Touchdown. The second touchdown reception for Chase Gibson tonight from Howard. 25 yards on the touchdown reception. And the tie game didn't last long. Pikeville's back on top, 32-26 with 2:59 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Howard putting up some big numbers here tonight. Well over 200 yards passing. Pikeville with, looks like a wishbone formation here. Fake the handoff. Howard still got it. Pitches to Akers. Heading upfield now. He cuts back up and he gets in for the conversion. So Pikeville will go up by 8 points now, 34-26 with 2:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. And we'll step out and be back for this. The kickoff here as we continue play. Pikeville leads 34-26. High school football on WPRG TV5.
Okay, Rick, you're back on.
Pikeville has the lead now, 34-26, and it is coming down, my friends. It is a frog strangler here tonight. There's Charles' kick. It'll be taken at the 20 by Bryant, who slips as he gets up to about the 28, and he'll be brought down right there. They'll mark it at the 29-yard line. I've got Howard unofficially 14 of 20 for 258 yards and 4 touchdowns. With 15 minutes almost to play in this football game. Williams with the handoff and hit in the backfield and brought down. Matt Tackett get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's about it. Second and 10 from the 29. There's a handoff. That's going to be Bryant, hit and brought down. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. So this Panther defense psyched up a little bit here. Third and 10. Clock running, 1:50 to play here in this 3rd quarter. My goodness. They're getting wet out there, Don. Two wideouts to the right, the tight side of the field. The pass goes to the left, and he's hit. And it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. What a hit by Akers. And it'll be 4th down and 10, and looks like South Floyd's going to have to punt. Minute 23 to play here in this third quarter. Pikeville scored and defense got excited. 3 downs and no yards. That punt's angled out toward the sidelines. It hits and bounces. It is rolling to about the 40-yard line. It lands right on the 40, and that's where Pikeville will take over with a minute 11 to play in the third quarter. First and 10 at the 40 for the Panthers with a minute 11 to play. It may have slacked off a little, but if you're out there in it, it's still coming down pretty good right now. This third quarter has been a wet one. The field is going to just keep getting more and more tougher to run on. Akers moved to the backfield now. That's a smart move in my opinion. He picks up about 5 yards to the 45. Akers can carry that ball and let the clock run here. Four seconds, the clock continues to run. And we get a handoff to the freshman. And we got a flag down. Rogers on the carry. It'll be about a 15-yard gain. Let's see if it stands with the penalty. Hold against the Panthers. Move it back to the Panther end of the field, back to the 46-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and 5. With 36 seconds to play here in this third quarter. And we have a whistle here. We'll see what looks like. South Floyd's going to want to take a timeout. We'll hold it here with 36 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Cover the football.
They put the towel over the ball to try to keep it as dry as they can. But at this point, Don, after this rain has gone on this entire quarter, and of course we had a little bit of rain earlier in the game, really they're probably not keeping it very dry out there at this point. You got to figure those towels are pretty wet. The band is moved down closer to midfield, and with them in out here, it makes it look like there's a few more people here than would otherwise be the case. And here they go. Pikeville's going to set up and run the play with I formation behind Howard, who's under center. Akers dots the I. He gets the football. He's at midfield. He's hit and continues up to about the 46-yard line. Picks up the first down. .6 seconds to play here in the third quarter. The clock is stopped, but that's just for purposes of getting the chain moved. Our first wet football Friday night of this season. Handoff, again, that's Akers at the 40 before he's hit, flipped, and brought down at the 39-yard line on what will be the last play of the third quarter. Pikeville holds an 8-point lead, 34-26. We'll be back with fourth quarter action, high school football game of the week on WPRG TV 5. It's second down and 4 on the first play here this quarter, the fourth quarter. Akers takes the pitch and is hit and driven closer to the first down marker, although he's going to be a little short. Gain of about 2. And it'll be third down and 1. Third down and 1 for the Panthers. Howard is going to have to take a timeout here with 11:17 to play. Apparently the Panthers only had 10 players on the field. And we have a stoppage in play. Coaches go out and talk things over.
There you go, little fella. There's your thought. You're welcome.
Pikeville with an 8-point lead, and not getting an insurance score here, but really wanted to run the clock down here.
Hey, Rick, say something about the dedication of that band.
I've already talked about them being out here still playing. I talked about them earlier. They're still out here. They've moved down some, but they're still out here playing through all this rain. Well, Don, I'd like to take this time while we got a moment here to congratulate an old friend of ours, Tom Searcy, the former football coach at Shelby Valley, coaching Perry County Central in his second season, beat Hazard tonight over there in that big black gold bowl that they have over there every year. I'm sure that's what's going on. That's normally when they play. Howard carrying that himself and got down to the 35-yard line for the first down. $11:10 on the clock. As it starts to run again. Howard to get under center. Bo is wide to the right. And it's going to be Akers who's hitting the backfield and brought down. That may be a loss. And we have an injured South Floyd player on the field. Number 75, James Walker, is down. Loss of a yard on that run will make it 2nd and 11.
Okay, we're back on, Rick.
We had a flag there before we got back against Pikeville. I think they called that illegal participation, I heard. 5-yard penalty nonetheless, and it'll be 2nd and about 16 with 10:20 to play here. Clock is running. Howard moves up under center now. And we've got a fake handoff. Howard has it himself. He's at the 35-yard line. He'll gain 6 yards on the keeper. Get it back near the line of scrimmage. It'll be a little short. It'll be 3rd down and 11. 9:45 to play. Howard lined up in the shotgun, so let me see our first pass of this drive. And we get a flag down here. And officials are talking it over. Now they're going to talk to Coach Chapman. and maybe there was some mouthing off going there on the sideline. That may be what the flag is. They're going to pick it up. They're going to wave off the flag, so I'm not sure what that was all about. So I don't know what the situation was there. They may have just stopped it to inform Roy Boger of something. I'm not sure what happened there. Looked like they were going to go over and talk to the coaches, but that wasn't the case. So I apologize for that remark. Pass is complete. Matt Branham on the receiving end of that. And he gets down to about the 30-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down, about 6 for Pikeville. 8:50 to play in this football game. The Panthers leading by 8. About to get in the end zone. They're going to have to pick it up here on 4th down. Howard rolls to the left, looks for Akers, has him. Akers hauls it in for the 1st down. Anytime Pikeville's needed to move the football, they just had to get it in the hands of Akers. Howard has had an outstanding game just throwing the football to the junior end. Give him 13 on the pass. And it's going to be 1st and 10. It'll be 18. Bo is wide right. Handoff. Rogers got down to about the 14. It'll be 2nd and 6. We'll get inside the 8-minute mark. It's not stopped raining, but it's slowed down considerably. Panthers break huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be Akers. Gets down to about the 10-yard line, inside the 10, to about the 9. Gain of 5. Third down and about 1. Ball inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. 6:55 to play. I formation behind Howard. He's going to keep it himself and go straight through the line for the touchdown. Pikeville going on top by 14 here. 40-26. And the band plays on. Fat lady's tuning up right now. She's moving toward the microphone. I'll let you know that right now. 6:47 to play. Pikeville leading by 14, lined up for the conversion. Howard capped off a brilliant game with that touchdown run, looking to pass for the conversion, throws it, it's going to be incomplete. So Pikeville will stay on top 40-26 with 6:47 to play here in the 4th quarter. Panthers up by 14, and as the band plays, we'll step out for a break. Pikeville 40, South Floyd 26. So we'll be back after this. It's the Game of the Week on Channel 5. Let me know when you're on, though.
Okay, Rick.
6:47 to play. Pikeville on top by 14. It is ready to kick off to the Raiders of South Floyd here. But South Floyd got back and tied the game, but couldn't go ahead as they failed on a conversion. And Pikeville since has scored a couple of touchdowns, and the Raiders are going to be buried back deep in their own into the field. So we have a flag down at the 5-yard line where the ball is marked. And a Raider is down out there as well. That flag is probably going to go against Pikeville. Roy Boger signals for the coaches of South Floyd to come in. Oh, we're back to action. Williams' pass is deflected. And incomplete. It's not going to be easy to pass the football at this point in the game with 6:33 to play, as wet as it has to be. South Floyd battled back from a 20-0 deficit to tie this game at 26, but since then Pikeville has scored a couple of touchdowns. Snap went directly to the back. And Newsom didn't pick up anything on that carry. And we'll say they lost a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 11 at the 19. We're at the 6-minute mark of this 4th quarter. Wideouts, 2 on each side. The pass is deflected at the line and falls harmlessly incomplete. 4th and 11 at the 19. Expect South Floyd to punt here. And look for Pikeville to keep it on the ground and try to run this clock out. .553 to play. .40-26 the lead, and they're going to go for the first down here. Now they're going to take a timeout. South Floyd does with 5:53 to play. We'll take a break and come back with this important 4th down play. Pikeville leads 40-26. It's the game of the week on Channel 5. 4th and 11. South Floyd coming to the line of scrimmage here with 5:53 to play. They could give the ball up well and deep in their own territory here if they don't make this conversion. We have a run. It's Bryant who gets up near the first down, but not anywhere close. He'll be taken down at about the 28-yard line. So he'll gain 9, and Pikeville will take over with 5:44 to play. At about the 28-yard line. So even by running the ball, Pikeville would have a hard time running the clock out before they got in the end zone here. And Howard is lined up in the shotgun, rolls to the right, has Akers. His man fell down. He catches it at the 10. What a game Akers is having here. They're going to mark it on the 10-yard line. And they can pick up a first down, although the ball is at the 10-yard line. Howard gets the snap, rolls to the left. He's looking for Akers, who's in a battle down there. He tucks it and runs himself and gets inside the 5 before he's brought down. .507, the clock runs. Give him gain of 5. 2nd and goal at 5. Or 2nd and 5, I should say. As they can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown. Again, the shotgun being employed by Pikeville. We got a fake handoff. Howard keeps it himself and flips into the end zone for the touchdown. So Pikeville, after leading by 20 and being called, is back on top by 20 now with 4:32 to play here in this football game. Panthers will line up and go for two. Howard is in the shotgun. He waits the snap, gets it. He's looking over the middle, continues to look, throws toward Gibson. It's incomplete. So with 4:32 to play in this football game, Pikeville leads 46-26, and we'll be back after this timeout. It's the game of the week on WPRG TV5.
Okay, Rick, you're back on whenever.
Pikeville ready to kick off with 4:32 to play here. The return and a big hit. Dustin Holland delivered at about the 38-yard line. Hurriedly, Don, I've calculated that Howard, and as I say, this is rushed. This has been rushed, so don't hold me to it. 17 of 25 for 294, and Akers has caught 209 of those yards, the best of my calculations. Ball is at the 39-yard line. Williams again under center as he's been all night. We have a handoff. Newsom, that slips and is taken down at the 44-yard line. Give him 6. Give him call the line of scrimmage to 45. 4:08 to play, and Daniels may well just try to run the clock out from this point on. Pikeville will improve to 4-1 on the season. South Floyd will fall to 1-3. Pikeville 4-1 with the Belfry Pirates knocking on the door next Friday night. Handoff to Bryant, and that was a little bit of a busted play. Those of you, the Generation X fans, will enjoy that from Dustin Holland out there. And to mark the ball at the 40, so a loss of 5. .313, the clock continues to run. Pikeville 46, South Floyd 26. On the first wet football Friday night of this season. Chased out of the pocket and hit, still on his feet, up near the 45, about the 44-yard line, and Charlie Williams gets nailed. Getting up off the bottom of the pile is 17, Aaron Collins. 4th and 5 from the 45-yard line there with 2:29 to play. Pikeville with its second win in a row. Only loss coming second game of the season in the Pike County Bowl to Breathitt County. 4th down, handoff is to Bryant, hit in the backfield and taken down. at about the 42-yard line. We'll call it a loss of 2. And with 2 minutes to play, Pikeville will have it at the 43-yard line. So with 2 minutes to play, see if John Chapman decides to just keep it on the ground and run the clock out here. It looks like that'll be the case. Howard is under center with the backs in the eye behind him. And that's going to be a flag for illegal participation. We've seen that flag a few times tonight. And that'll make it 1st and 15 from the 48. Minute 44 to play. That's something that Chapman and his gang will have to get worked out here. And now Howard's lined up in the shotgun. He's running it himself. He's at midfield, gets across the 45 before he's brought down, gets back near the original line of scrimmage. They're going to call him down at the 45, so a gain of 3. 2nd down and 12, and we're inside a minute to play here. Pikeville will slow things down, and if these officials know what they're doing and Pikeville knows what it's doing, this will be the last play of this football game. The officials, you will see, when this play is run, will stand and wipe the ball off and make sure everything's clean and everybody's in place and make sure that they don't have to put it down before the 25-second mark, so Pikeville doesn't have to run another play. Holland is down at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd down and 12, and 20 seconds on the clock. They don't have to run another play. Let's see if they do. Akers ran the play in, and I think they're going to try to get the ball to Holland here. If I was a betting man, the senior fullback may get this handoff here. 3 seconds. Now they're not going to run the play. Yeah, they get the snap. They fake it. Akers will run it. Has running room at the 30, inside the 30 to 25, and brought down, and that is going to do it. He got 35 yards on the carry. Akers with a monstrous game here for this Pikeville Panther team. And that's it. 46 to 26 is the final score here. Pikeville with a win over South Floyd. The Panthers will improve to 3-1 on the season. And Belfry coming up next. South Floyd slips to 1-3 on this football campaign. So a big night for Ben Howard, the quarterback, and a big night for